Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host, Logan Landers, and today I'm doing a special draft needs look in 2022 for the Las Vegas Raiders, the host of the draft, where they're going to be holding it at. And this is going to be very exciting. This team is going to be one to be reckoned with, I think, because they've made a lot of moves this offseason. But before I get into what they need to go for in the draft, as well as their free agency recap, please, if you enjoy this content here today, like, comment, share, and subscribe. We appreciate each and every one of you for tuning into our videos and for leaving your comments. We see all of them. We interact with all of you. And for also leaving your likes, leaving your follows, subscribe to the channels, sharing the content. It means the world to us. And we just want to say thank you. All right, so we go live each and every single day on Facebook and YouTube. Clips of our shows on Instagram at 100football, and our amazing podcast with over 800 episodes available to listen to right at this very moment, with more being updated each and every single day. So, hey, enough chatter. Let's get into it. The Raiders, let's look at their free agency, and boy, was it busy. But before we get into who they have signed, let's get into those who have not re-signed yet, who are still looking for that next contract. So currently we have Jeremiah Puste. We also have Jordan Simmons, Peyton Barber, Patrick Onwuzor. We also have Darius Philin, Kyle Wilbur, Derek Carrier, Desmond Trufant, Gerald McCoy, Nick Martin, Deshaun Jackson, Richie Incognito, KJ Wright, Jalen Richard, and Nick Kwiatkowski as the current free agents. All right, let's get into the brand new faces who is coming over this year. Chandler Jones, edge rusher from the Cardinals. Davante Adams, wide receiver from the Packers, coming on over. Vernon Butler, defensive lineman from the Bills. We also have Jayon Brown, the linebacker from the Titans. We have Rock Ya-Sin, the cornerback from the Colts. Brandon Bolden from the Patriots. Kyler Fackrell from the Chargers. Duron Harmon, the safety from the Falcons. Mac Hollins from the Dolphins. Demarcus Robinson coming over from the rivals with the Kansas City Chiefs. Jacob Hollister, the tight end from the Jaguars. Amir Abdullah, the running back from the Carolina Panthers. Kyle Pico, the defensive lineman from the Titans. Nick Mullins, quarterback from the Browns. Garrett Gilbert, quarterback from the Commanders. Fullback Jacob Johnson. Left guard Alec Bars. Micah Kaiser, the linebacker from the Broncos. Anthony Everett, the cornerback from the Baltimore Ravens. Belial Nichols, the defensive lineman from the Bears. And to round things out, Darius Phillips, the cornerback from the Bengals. All right, so that is all the fresh faces. Let's look at the guys who have re-signed this offseason, who are coming back another season. Jonathan Hankins, defensive lineman, has came back, has re-signed. We also have Brandon Parker. We have Jermaine Ellemuller. And we also have some guys like Dalen Levitt, the safety, Jackson Barton, the left tackle, Max Crosby signed that big extension, the edge rusher, Roderick Tremer, the cornerback, and Nick Bowers, the tight end, along with Lester Cotton, left guard. Now, who has left the team? Who is going on to a different squad this year? We have Alec Ingold, the fullback, going to the Dolphins, Kelseon Nixon going over to the Packers. We have Markel Lee going to the Bills, Brandon Facyson, the cornerback, to the Colts, and we have Casey Hayward going to the Falcons, Zay Jones to the Jaguars, Solomon Thomas to the Jets, Quentin Jefferson to the Seahawks. We also have Marcus Mariota headed over to the Falcons. He's going to be their brand new starter this year. Nicholas Moreau is going to the Bears, and Yannick Ngakoue to the Colts. So the Raiders have, like I said, they've re-signed a couple with Hankins, with Crosby and company. They've gotten lot of fresh faces. They've gained some guys. They've lost some. But let's talk about the draft, where they're picking this year, and who they can select to make their team even stronger. So the Raiders don't have the most amount of picks this year. Like I said, they gave up a good amount of picks with Davante Adams and whatnot. So let's look. So their first pick this year is in round 3, pick number 86. In round 4, pick 126. Round 5, they have pick 164. Also in round 5, they have pick 165. And in round 7, pick 200, 27. So not a lot of room to work with, not the most amount of picks. We've seen a lot, we've covered teams with 10 plus, and this team is barely above 5, right? So let's get into it. Who the Raiders can select with their limited draft space this upcoming draft, where, like I said, they're going to be hosting it this year. I feel that for the Raiders to succeed this upcoming season, their third round pick, their first one, right? They got to go with an offensive lineman. That has been a bit of a struggle in recent years for Derek Carr. They've upgraded their defense, or else I would say that would be their first selection. But I think that with Carr, like I said, getting older every day, he's not like he's ancient or anything, but he's not getting any younger. You got to have a quality line to protect him, and you can get a good offensive lineman with this team, with the amount of talented receivers, with Devontae Adams, with Darren Waller, with Hunter Renfrow and company. I mean, you got to give him time to work with. And so I think you really need to protect this guy going forward. So I would definitely go with a offensive lineman, offensive tackle, offensive guard this upcoming draft as your first selection. I think after that, some more places you can work with. I think they need to look in defense. Maybe look for a linebacker, look for someone who might need a little bit of a love, right? A little bit of attention going into this draft, might need some more help. But I think you can find a good quality linebacker this upcoming draft. You can find also a good cornerback, which is also where I think the Raiders could look at as well. They've had some rough luck with corners, with safeties as of late. And with the improvements this offseason, you can still find some guys who are going to help you out, some depth pieces. And I think that this team is just, I mean, they're improved. They have definitely improved. But if you go with, like I said, some offensive linemen, go with a corner, maybe get a backup running back for Josh Jacobs, since Richard left. I mean, the Raiders don't need a whole lot of pieces. We've covered the AFC, right? We covered a lot of teams so far. Covered, I believe, all the teams in the AFC West. Like I said, we looked at the Broncos, we looked at the Chargers, looked at the Chiefs, and now we got the Raiders. Man, I mean, if you guys have seen any news on football, it's certainly been in this division because they have been loading up talent like no other. So if the Raiders can go with some, like I said, they need some good defensive help too. They've improved, but I still think you can draft some good pieces late round potentially to improve over the years. Go with a good offensive line, can't be beat. And like I said, with not the most amount of picks, especially starting in the third round, it's going to be a little bit tougher to come by this season. But go with offensive heavy, go with an offensive lineman, then help out your defense, I believe, and the rest will fall into place, I believe. Because this is a super talented Raiders team. I'm excited to see where they're going to go this year, how far they can go. Last year was absolutely crazy. In 2021, they still made the most of it, right? They still made the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see this upcoming year, a fresh team, a lot of new faces, new head coach. It's going to be interesting to see how this team does. Because like I said, this is the team that is hosting the draft. This is going to be held in Las Vegas, in their hometown. The fans are going to be fired up. Like I said, unfortunately, they traded that first round pick for Devontae Adams, so they're not going to hear the Raiders draft a player for a long time. But I know that the fans there in Vegas, back in Oakland, and everywhere else around the world, they are more than happy to give up that first round, second round draft pick for Devontae Adams. So it's going to be a fun time watching the draft in April 28th to be exact, about 2 weeks away from when we're recording this. So it's going to be a fun time. Please drop a comment. Who do you think the Raiders will get in their draft? They don't have a lot of selection, so please, what position, what groups, what players should they go for? We'd love to hear who you believe the Raiders, who they're going to be getting to wear the silver and black attack for many years to come. It's going to be a fun time, man. Like I said, if you enjoyed this episode today, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Go live each and every single week on Facebook and YouTube. Clips of each and every show are on Instagram at 100 Yards of Football. And also, I forgot to mention too, brand new, we have a LinkedIn page. If you want to connect with us personally and professionally, go over to LinkedIn, just type in 100 Yards of Football, and you'll see our page there where you can find a few of our podcasts. We just started up pretty recently. So go check us out on LinkedIn at 100 Yards of Football. And of course, our podcast, like I mentioned before, over 800 episodes of amazing football content, draft prospects. legend interviews, history specials, team previews. I mean, anything and everything football related you can find on our channel on Facebook and YouTube. Over 1,000 videos each and over 800 plus episodes of the podcast, thanks to the Believe Podcast Network. So like I said, I've been your host today, Logan Landers, talking about the Raiders, right? The silver and black. It's been a fun video. It's been fun doing all these amazing draft needs, draft videos. And, our hard work is paying off. The draft is coming closer and closer. It's going to be a fun time. So please drop a comment. Who do you think the Raiders will grab this upcoming draft? I've been your host, Logan Landers. Everyone, have a tremendous day. And we will talk to you again on another live episode right here on 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk.